Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. We can see in the status quo right now how gambling has become more common, especially because of online gambling that made it more accessible for more people. These people, once they win, they are hooked on how easy it is to win big and with minimal effort, giving it an addictive effect that makes them want to keep on going over and over again, and the high can make them overlook on how easy it is to lose also. Oftentimes they'll get a loan to be able to pay for gambling, and they don't worry of not being able to pay because they believe if they keep on gambling they'll eventually win big and be able to pay that off. These gamblers also often milk their own family or close ones. This proves that gambling brings a real harm to themselves and others, which is why it's illegalized in some countries. For breaking the laws, these gamblers are imprisoned for the sake of them stopping and as a deterrent from them doing it again. But the problem is these people often come from financial difficulties and end up with debts, and they'll need to be able to pay it off and improve their life to something better. And imprisonment doesn't give much help to give better chance of achieving that. It's urgent because punishment to one without them having more chance to improve can end up worse for them. Now our goal is to help these people heal from their addiction and help them improve their life. That's why we would give them social service and skill training to help. With the mechanization, firstly, they'll instead go to a training camp where they can choose some of the skill training that's offered there, for example, like automotive or carpentry and etc., so they can have a job with a livable wage. There will also be social services like from a psychiatrist to check on their mental well-being and to help them get over the gambling addiction to provide support for them. After at least a month of camp, with the duration depending on the development of their technical skill, they'll be helped with finding a job where they also have a weekly check-in within that said camp to make sure they healed from addiction and to check on their well-being. The check is done for at least 2 months. Now, going to my argument, why is giving help to them justified? Firstly, realize that a lot of these people are also victims of financial problems. Unable to get enough for a living, pressured under the stress, they need quick cash to sustain their daily lives. For example, people that didn't get the chance to get an education so they couldn't earn a job with a livable wage, having to keep up with their needs on their daily life with disproportionate wages. They resorted to gambling. This proves that their decision to resort to gambling isn't entirely influenced by themselves, but also external factors that they cannot control. Other factors like on a sudden disaster too that can strike them. But before they were able to be helped with facing those external problems, unfortunately, they've already under the pressure enough to fall into gambling. Rooting from those external factors that they cannot control is exactly why they deserve to be helped and deserve more chances to improve themselves. Now what would be the impact of implementing these social services and skill camps? Let's compare this on the opposition side, where after imprisonment they have to reconnect with society without help, which means very less chances of them improving their life afterwards and them being able to find a job to pay off their debts, and not to mention with their criminal charges and the social impact on that. Whereas on our side, with our social services, we can help them get a job, which would improve their chances of being able to pay off their debts. Let's also take a look on their tendency. With imprisonment, sure, it'll serve as punishment that would deter them from repeating their actions again, but it also wouldn't be much as a support, where it could help them guide back to the right path. They've already healed, and the lack of supervision after being released from prison cannot make sure that they've already healed from their addiction. While on our side, with the support of others, they're less likely to go back to their bad habit because they know that someone cares about them and they believe that they still have a second chance on improving their life and fixing their wrongs. And the check-ins after the camp is helpful to keep track of their improvement, like is it working for them or are they struggling, and as a conviction that they haven't gone back to gambling. With less chances that of gamblers that was in prison being able to get a job that can help pay off their debts, it would mean it's very possible for other people that were involved in this issue that were also harmed financially or less to not have a compensation that they deserve. While on our side, it's more guaranteed because of the help that we provide. Therefore, with the help of social services and skill training that we provide, curative action from gambling and second chances of improvement are more guaranteed on our side. Very proud to propose.